Thanks for coming. I speak about the dependency injection container today. It's my first talk in English, and I have very poor English, so sorry for you. Here is a summary. First time, I would like to introduce the dependency injection container inside Drupal 8. I would like to give you some context why this implementation inside Drupal, why not use the dependency injection container in Symfony. Well, I would just give you some context. After, I would like we will see some generic Symfony vocabulary about the dependency injection container. It's very important to understand pieces of this component. After, we will see how it works inside Drupal 8. There is very some difference between Symfony and Drupal. I'll just show you how to alter the dependency injection container to have your custom services and to alter other services. I would like to give you some useful info, and after the conclusion, maybe some questions if you understand my English. So, I'm Nicolas Perissel, I work at Equino. I come from France, Bordeaux. And here is my username on Twitter. You have my name if you want to discuss with me after the 7th. 522. What does this number mean for you? Do you have some ideas about this number?
Number of core services.
Sorry?
Is it the number of core services?
I don't want to
The number of core services in Drupal.
Yeah. It's the number of available service into the container of French Drupal 8 installed. Donc it's a very huge number for me. That means there is at minimum 522 objects available inside the container. It's not instantiated object, but just available services. It's a very huge number for our application. Symfony, it's like around 100 objects, I think, not more. The context. Everything has begun with an issue opened by Mark Sonnenberg about the shared file system. If you don't know, Symfony dependency injection container is compiled into a file, into PHP file, for performance reason. And the problem with Drupal is that if you want to scale Drupal with this container, you have some difficulties because it's hard to validate multi-puppet at time. If you work with Docker, with different Docker instance of your application, it's very hard to find your IP to validate cache. It's not so easy. After, read the file over the network is insecure by definition. And if you add a TLS layer, you block your performance, I think. And it's very difficult to be synchronized on different webs. For example, if you activate the module inside Drupal, you need to call every container on each website to be updated. And it's not a good way to try to perform some tasks on different levels. The masterpiece is to have a component which is centralized. That's why it's impossible to use the Symfony implementations directly. There was different goals to achieve. The first was to have a custom dumper. If you don't know what is a dumper, I explain this word after. But the goal was to have a custom dumper right in PHP. Drupal works with PHP, it's very important to have a PHP array dumper. PHP array dumper. This dumper can be stored in different locations, such as the Redis, your database. Database is to your application, local application, or Memcache, for example. And an important thing, the container must be optimized for speed. If you work on development environment, for example, you deactivate your cache. It's very long to build a container. It's hard because there is a lot of modules inside your application, and there is some of the Drupal kernel try to find every YAML file inside your project and try to configure your container. It's a very long task. It's not performance. It's not for performance. And the most important thing was to have everything inside the file must be dynamic at all time. It's not possible. If you deploy a Symfony application, it's passive. It's not dynamic. You build your application, you compile your container, you have a file system, you deploy this file system. With Drupal, it's not this way. Inside Drupal, your users have a lot of interaction. Your administrator, for example, have a lot of interaction with the administration, with your back office, and click here, on the part, and every action alters the content definition. If I change the parameters inside your module, I must validate the container. That's why we need to clear your cache, for example. Okay, it's clear for the context? Okay. No, that's why the Drupal implementation is like that. You have the Symfony development injection container inside your vendor, and after, inside the core, you have the Drupal components, which extend or implements some classes from the Symfony component, and here you have the implementation inside Drupal. It's different. You have two parts for the Drupal part. The first one is the component. It's totally different. You can use this component outside the Drupal project, normally, but in fact, no, normally. And here you have the implementation. The implementation is a custom implementation for your Drupal application. This package adds some compiler tasks, some compiler tasks to handle a stack, for example. Good. To be more precise, here is some definition. The dependency injections container, it's a simple object that knows how to instantiate and configure objects. It's a definition made by Fabien Potentiel. It's not truly difficult. You configure your dependency injections container with YAML file, XML file, PHP file, whatever. And after you give this file to your container, he interprets the content and delivers the dependency injection container. It's simple when I said this, but that is no, it's harder. Definition. Definition is the base object for your container application. It's an object which is dedicated to configure your service for the container. Here, without this object, it's like it's an object which transforms your YAML file to PHP. It's not clear, sorry. It pass. Synthetic services. Which know synthetic services definition? Okay. It's a concept inside the Symfony Drupal container injection container. You need a service that the container needs to build other services. And the example, the definition, in some application, you may need to inject the class instance as a service instead of configuring the container to create a new instance. It's not clear? So the kernel is a synthetic service. because you need to know, some object needs to know that the kernel exists without instantiate the kernel. You will see on the diagram on schema. After, you have two objects, container and container builder. The container builder is just an object that extends the container. It's like an helper. It's hard to build our service inside our application. That's why we need a custom API to make this. As a container builder provides this API. As a container class, it's simple the dependency injections container. After, there is some compiler classes and tags to see. The compiler classes are classes that process the container to manipulate existing service definition. If you want to alter the current service inside your application, you need to have a compiler class inside your application. It's called by the compiler and process to run it. And service tags are a simple mechanism to flag the services that require special processing. The compiler. Compiler is responsibility to compile the container, and there is no. It's hard-coded inside the components. It's very difficult to provide another compiler because compiler is a compiler. There is no need to add some functionalities to this compiler. Its aim is to manipulate and optimize the container. It's an object. You can't actually add your custom compiler inside compile compiler injection dependency because it's hard-coded. And after you have some dumper. Dumper put the result of the compiling step into a store. The default store in Symfony is PHP classic. From your YAML files to the container, you have PHP files because it's very fast. It's faster to read PHP files than other things. In Drupal, your cache is right with a custom dumper inside the database. Why? Because the database is the heart of your application. Normally, you have one database, which you can scale, but your container is inside. It's really easy to work with one database that all that different webheads, files, flash files. And in fact, you can store the dependency injection container inside the release. It's easy with Drupal. Well, this works in Drupal 8. This workflow is like Symfony, but I adapted the schema. Actually, you can load you describe your services into YAML file. Inside each module, you have a YAML file that describes your services, and there is a component which in the loader, which is a loader, which loads every YAML file and compute the result inside one big simple YAML. After, the YAML file loader, all files are transmitted to the container builder. Container builder make a loop for each YAML file and try to convert with the definition object what we have brought inside your YAML files into PHP. It's like a transformer, but it's not true, but from your mind, it's like a transformer. It transforms, the container builder transforms. And after, the container builder try to auto-collect your different service provider. Inside Drupal, if you have my module name service provider file inside your module, you tell to the dependency injections container to add your custom services inside the container builder. It's auto-discover, it's a magical method from Drupal. After, service definitions, parameters, alias are created, namespaces are registered, and lot of things. And the container builder call a method, compile. This method compile apply all compiler classes previously declared in your service provider, example, or from your tags you have defined inside your YAML. Events that you work, events, for example. The result of the compile creates the container, your dependency injection container, and this container actually is just an object. And to have the representation of this container inside your cache, you need to use different dumper. For Drupal, there is two dumper provided by the Drupal components. Optimize PHP array dumper, PHP array dumper. Optimize the PHP array dumper, extends the PHP array dumper. And inside your database or your Redis cache or whatever, you have the result of this dump. It's your container. So here is the simulator of the container. So it's based on the PHP container definition for performance. Is compatible with the default Symfony dependency injection container. It's not the container provided by the Symfony component. It's you have the namespace. You have the namespace here. It's provided by the component. It's important to make the difference. When you use your container, you use a part of Drupal component and a part of Symfony component. Not truly the full Symfony dependency injection container. And why we need a dedicated container is that inside the Drupal container you throw some custom exception. Because Drupal has its own rules, and it's not possible for Drupal to handle the original dependency injection container. Here is how to use the container builder provided by Drupal. It's very simple. You can instantiate the container builder here. It's a simple object. You register the class. Here is the standard class. You just make it. And after you can call compile method, you instantiate your bumper, you provide as argument your container builder, and you can get your container compiled. It's easy. Here we have this. We need to pass the container definition from the container because it's not the same component. The container here is from Drupal. It's not from Symfony. If you are in Symfony, container and container builder are the same object, just the question of responsibility. The container builder extends the container. Okay? Yeah, donc here you have the Drupal container builder. Donc, it's very important Drupal try not to copy paste line of code between projects, but in fact there is some the YAML file is a copy paste from the dependency from the Symfony dependency injection container. Here the most important things to see is that the container builder extends the Symfony container builder. And I say that the Symfony container builder, it's like the container of Symfony. It's clear? Not clear? You can put... No? Okay. Donc, why we need to have our custom container builder? It's because Drupal not support the resource tracking. resource tracking is a Symfony feature that we need to validate our cache definition on each on each change. It's a very powerful feature when you are in the dev environment, and it's not supported by Drupal. That's why we need to disable resource tracking by default inside our container builder. After, on a lot of methods, we have a check on the lower service ID name. Because Drupal actually needs to have his service name to lower. It's not possible to have a full pass, higher pass, with a namespace that's Symfony. That's why we need to have this container builder. Just perform some checks because Drupal is not up to date with the Symfony code actually. But if you want to have a simple container builder from the dependency injection container on Drupal, it's easy. You can instantiate your container builder, you register your class, and after you can call the compile method, and here you have the log of your compiler. This step is made automatically by the YAML in the container builder. Here is because I don't use the YAML file. I need to write each service, describe each service. The register is made automatically with the YAML file. The very extreme part. Here is an example of instantiate Drupal with PHP with a custom dumper. It is a PHP array dumper, and you can see that the result of the PHP array dumper is not a big object like this. It's a simple representation. This is the representation that is stored inside your database after compiling it. There is some aliases because we need some aliases with alias the name of certain services. Print alias. Here are the parameters collected inside your application. After you have your services available, and after you have a frozen state for the parameter right, if the container is frozen. It can change. And after you have a machine format boolean, machine format it just to say that if we are inside the PHP array dumper is readable for a human with array syntax. And here, if you have an optimized array dumper, sorry, we don't see inside the services. But machine format true, it means that we have a key value with key, okay, the service ID, and value as it's the serialization of the description. The description is the object I'm trying to explain to you. And in fact, these dumpers are provided by Drupal, but if you want to use another dumper inside our application, Drupal application, it's possible. If you want to use the custom PHP dumper, the PHP dumper provided by the Symfony component, it's possible because it's inside the dependency injection container from Symfony. You can use PHP dumper, XML dumper, YAML dumper, and if you want to have a visual representation, you have a graphics dumper. Because it's a graph of objects inside the dependency injections to detect circular invariances and other things. Donc it's not a fatality to use only this dumper. Some projects use different dumper for your needs. The PHP dumper, if you want to have the resource tracking, is a very powerful feature. But you need to extend your kernel and write a lot of code to have your custom kernel. But it's possible. to try to understand how the container is built inside Drupal, I try to make a schema. Your first step is to have there is a kernel. The kernel method is inside your front controller, and the first method of your kernel is the boot method. The first thing that the boot method makes, gets its settings and your site definition, your site settings, in fact. After the container is initialized with this method, initialize container. And inside this method, we have a check on the Bootstrap container definition. The Bootstrap container definition is Drupal provides the availability to have a small container to build is one container. And why we need to do that inside Drupal? It's because we need to have access to the database and to the cache file system to get the container. After, we have the initial container perform some check. If we have no module update and if we no need to rebuild the dependency injection container, we can call the get cache container definition. You have your cache, you have your container inside your cache. You go here, Drupal send container is your previously cached container, and that's all. If we don't have, if we detect some changes inside your application, we need to rebuild your cache. Here, we call compile container. The compile container launch different action, compile the container, get the parameters, everything. We have a new container. The container is attached to the Drupal core with set container. And after, we try to perform the save of the container. If you can't save, here you have an exception which is throw that it's impossible to write your cache. It's very interesting to see if you have some time to read each line of code and read the difference between Symfony and Drupal. Very interesting. I try to resume here, but in fact, it's very big. How to alter the dependency injection container? Like I said, the first things you can do is to have a custom Bootstrap container definition. So here, before every action, you can tell to Drupal to use a custom Bootstrap definition. Here, by default, is a default provided by Drupal inside the class. You can override this Bootstrap container definition inside your settings. If you remember at the boot, the first thing to do is to get the settings, your sites and settings. On site settings, we can perform our action to get the container definition. And here, if you want to get your container from another database, although by default it's default, you can change this. But if you want to have some parameters from a web API, you can here instantiate a Gazelle client or HTTP client now, new component of Symfony. You can be creative with this. It's very important. Symfony don't provide this system. It's very smart feature from Drupal. After, you can provide a MyModule service provider, and you can choose between to implement some interfaces to altering the dependency using container. You can alter the current definition, and you can register a new definition. You can change the class, you can change the parameters, you can change everything. You can register a new service if you want to add a custom inside your module. You must use a register. Or if you prefer, Drupal provides an abstract class, service provider base. You need to extend this class, and this class you need to implement register or atom. For me, I prefer to use implements to implement interface because it performs some. You can make some interface composition. It's better than object. Okay, donc here is an example of how to altering the dependencies container. Here, I choose to use the service provider base. Donc, I have a class, my module service provider, which is auto-discovered by the kernel, by the dependency container, in fact. You can register a new service. Here, I decide to add a compiler class. This is my custom extension class. You have the code here, it's very simple. You just need to implement the compiler class interface provided by sample component, and you need to implement the method provided by the interface. Here is the process. With this, you can pass over some definition and add a lot of features. You can extend different things inside the container. It's very powerful. It's a point of extension of your application. It's really good. Again, there is more performance because it's made before. It's not a true runtime. It's made before and it's cached. It's really and here it's an example of how to alter a definition. From the container, I get an existing definition. Here is a language manager. I store the definition, I store the result inside the definition variable. And here I try to change the class. Definition, set class, I put another class, and I add an argument. When you make the same things inside your YAML files. But for me, it's better to write in PHP because with this you understand that what you make. Some information. I don't know if you know the expression language components, but you don't have access to this component inside your container with Drupal. It's not very important, but sometimes you need to get some parameters from a method call, and you can, with this, you can build your container based on other objects. And it's very important to have the parameters sometimes. If you have this example here, I like this example because you can use the service tag to get the result of object method to build your object. Well, expression language is a very smart component. It's not available actually inside the code. After there is, for me, a big problem. It's very difficult to debug the dependency container. Symfony provides some commands to use to debug your container. Is an example here, and you have a very smart representation on the screen. After, there is only two methods to have the container, the dump of the container. If you want to check something, you can use Drush. Which is used Drush here? Okay. Which is used by console. Okay. And the other the use of Drush in the console. Okay. With Drush, it's very difficult to debug the container. You must make something like that. It's perform a query to print the initialization. It's not easy, and the representation is really bad. With Drupal console, you have Drupal debug container. You have a list of your service available inside your application. It's not powerful. After, another things between the two components. Inside Drupal, you have a service collector. You provide a tag and your application try to detect some class, perform some action around the tag. It's here. With Symfony, we have a tag iterator argument. It's really faster to write the tag. It's like a compiler class, but it's like a dynamic compiler class. It's really powerful. A very important thing, a service in Drupal are always public. By default, Symfony service are private. Because you need to Symfony wants to inside Symfony, you must use dependency injection. It's a very bad habit to get the container and to perform the get over the container. Get a service it's a bad habit. Inside Drupal, because we have some static class, Drupal, service, container, get service, for example, you need to have your services public. It's not. It's a really big difference with Symfony, and it's not a good product. Dependency injection is not truly implemented inside Drupal, in fact. And the mechanical effect, Drupal is always behind Symfony. That when Symfony make a release, Drupal needs to adapt this code after this release, and that's why we don't have all the features from Symfony inside Drupal. It's very difficult to have the portability between the two components. But in fact, which auto-wiring inside the container. Okay, it's a very important feature because with the auto-wiring, you don't need to write YAML files. Your application tries to auto-detect your dependencies inside your application. It's very powerful. And it's moving on Drupal because this feature are now supported. Here for Drupal 8.8. And now the auto-wiring support some people working on, and which the auto-wiring we need the support of the default keys inside your YAML file, and it's supporting some people working on it too. It's very important thing for Drupal because it's easier to use the container with the auto-wiring. But it's very important to understand what is behind the auto-wiring. It's not magic. It's not magic. You need to understand with your dependency injection container. And to conclude, no really conclusion, but for me the most important thing is that we need a lot of work to have the minimum gap between the Symfony dependency injection and the Drupal dependency injection. It's very hard. Actually, for example, the YAML file loader is a very important piece of inside Drupal and inside Symfony. There is around 1,000 lines of code inside the Symfony, YAML file loader. We have around 400 lines of code inside the Drupal. It's a big gap, and that's why we don't have all the features provided by the Symfony inside the Drupal components. If you have some question I'm here. It's maybe easier for me to speak around the beer than around the coffee or in French, if you speak French. Thank you for your attention. Big thanks. Now, did you want to extend the Drupal kernel in the project? What could be use case? Performance reason from the Drupal kernel is too slow. And yes, I have a friend here. He speaks about the custom library, and he has extended the Drupal kernel. And it's very important because Drupal kernel performs very some actions you don't need to do for production. And yes, I encourage to extend this kernel. Use case performance. Now, what is default container dump mode in Drupal for container caching is the optimized PHP dumper. It's a machine format true. Objects is key with the serialization object. For how long did you work with Drupal and Symfony? With Drupal, I began to work with Drupal 6, but it was not my my favorite CMS, sorry. And Symfony for around 8 years, I think, Symfony. I come from Symfony, Drupal, just a semester, but I prefer framework. Drupal is very powerful. Actually, we use Drupal inside Kino to work with a big company. It's very powerful, it's very interesting, but when you come from Symfony, it lacks some things inside Drupal. And you need, and our mission is to have the support of the missing part inside the Drupal, like developer experience, performance, and other things. Please meet the reception. Okay. Yeah, please meet the reception. Okay, thank you.